Hello and welcome to Picture Astrology. In this video we will talk about placement of Ketu in the 4th house of the horoscope. And this is another of the placement of Ketu which has quite a mixed analysis given in most of the classics as well as new astrology books. And as usual we will try to share some of the practical observations and examples from charts which I have personally seen who have Ketu in the 4th house. We'll also see how the dasha of Ketu has worked, with special focus on some of the important 4th house related issues like your mother, your home and family situation, also education and professional life, because when you have Ketu in the 4th house, Rahu will be right across in the 10th house of profession, and these two in conjunction can have a great say on your work life. So all this in next few minutes. Now let's first talk about the effects of Ketu on relationship between father and mother in the native of the chart. Because with Ketu in the 4th house, you will find Rahu will be present in the 10th, and this axis generally is described as giving some kind of troubled relationship with father and mother, and with some serious affliction, even described as giving some kind of separation early in life. However, as I have described in the initial videos of Rahu and Ketu, the practical experience suggests that unless Sun and Moon in your chart are heavily afflicted, these kind of extreme situations would not arise. But yes, Ketu in 4th house, again from the practical experiences, tend to give certain periods of difficult relationship with father, mother or family. Now as I said, if moon is strong, this situation will not be too difficult. But what I have seen is many times people will have perfect relationship with mother, great camaraderie in the family in the early years of person's life. Then typically when there are difficult transits over Ketu in the 4th house, the relationship can see a downward turn, but after a certain period in a good horoscope the relationship comes back to normal, or if not normal then at least a new normal. It may not go back to exactly the previous stage because Ketu is going to leave some kind of impact. And another important thing which generally happens when moon is present in the 11th house, because 11th is actually 8th from 4th. So in that case, the mother of the native tend to have some kind of nagging physical problem, some kind of sickness, some kind of bodily trouble, which could be constantly troubling the mother of the native. Now 4th house is also the house of your deepest seated emotion. This is the 12 o'clock at midnight when all the external activity ceases and your innermost feeling, your subconscious become most active. And a malefic planet like Ketu in the 4th house can definitely make a person very restless. Now 4th house is also the house of moksha sthan. It is the beginning of moksha trikon. Therefore, this Ketu is also known to give a great spiritual inkling to a person. But generally that spiritual quest begins with some kind of restlessness or trouble, either at home or at least within the mind of the person, because 4th house is also the place of your home, your house, your mother, at the same time your innermost feeling. So any trouble there generally pushes a person towards some kind of spiritual refuge or answers. And generally people believe that the spiritual nature of this Ketu kicks in only later in life, but this is not found to be true. In many cases which I have seen, and it can be triggered when a person is going through Ketu Dasha or there is a Ketu transit going on, and when you have a strong Jupiter, or as it is known as Guru or teacher. So I recently saw an horoscope in which a 15-year-old guy, his parents were kind of worried that at the age of 15 years, when people are supposed to live in the troubled teen age, this gentleman was getting deeply involved with spiritual texts. Now the family itself was quite traditional, and many people in the family were well versed with the Vedic literature, etc. But they suddenly saw, a uprise in the interest of their son, and they were sort of worried about it. And what I saw was he had 4th house Ketu, the Dasha had just started. At the same time, Ketu was present in Jupiter's nakshatra while Jupiter was placed in the 5th house. Now, by looking at the horoscope was definitely not of a person who was going to renounce the world or become a wanderer or anything like that. And in fact, Venus, whose dasha starts soon after Ketu, was very strongly placed in the horoscope. So my quick answer to those couple was that we don't need to worry. It's a phase which has been kicked up because of the Ketu dasha, and starting the second part of Ketu dasha leading up to Venus, he will be back to being a normal guy with all the worldly inclinations. So the Ketu can push really a person into spiritual or some kind of knowledge quest, not only in the later part of life but early in life as well. Now 4th house represents not just your house but also your homeland, your country of birth. And Ketu in 4th house along with Rahu here in the 10th is one of the most conducive placement for a person to leave the home country and deal with foreign people. See, Rahu is everything foreign, and it is in the professional area. It is in the 10th house. So people who tend to either have professional life away from their place of birth, or with people with foreign origin, or with people with different culture than their own, tend to get a lot of success because of this Ketu in the 4th house. So Ketu in the 4th house can make people wanderer, mystics and yogis, especially in the Eastern culture, who live like a monk, who are sort of always traveling, or in today's world, professionals who work and live in foreign countries are greatly supported by this placement of Ketu and Rahu. Now let's talk about some other 4th house related significations like education and vehicles. So with this placement of Ketu, if you have Mercury, which is the Karaka of formal education, if Mercury is afflicted, or even in case when Mercury is not afflicted, Ketu in 4th house can make people think twice about their area of study, about what they are doing. It can even give breaks in studies if there is slight problem with Mercury or 4th house lord. But in case these lords are strong or there is any benefic aspect on the Ketu, people can definitely restart their career, and the 10th house Rahu, as I said here, can take them to great success in professional life, even if there were breaks in education or they didn't get good grades in their graduation or post-graduation, etc. It's a little odd situation which definitely shows some trouble in either choosing the correct field of learning. People can change their subjects in between because of the placement of Ketu here. But because there is Rahu in the 10th house, and as long as Mercury 4th lord are well placed, they can very well complete their education and complete it well. And in many cases, when say Mercury and 4th lord are badly placed but 10th lord is good, then even with breaks in education or incomplete education, people tend to do great in their professional life. And this is something which can be commonly observed in many horoscopes with Ketu and Rahu like this. Now one important thing which is about the vehicles. So in Vedic astrology, Venus is the Karaka of your conveyance. It's the Karaka of your car, your bike, or any other mode of travel. So in case with Ketu in the 4th house there is affliction to Venus, then it is always advisable to drive with care, and especially so if there is any relationship of Mars with the 8th house, because then it can show some kind of injuries because of carelessness. So friends, this was my quick analysis of Ketu in 4th house. Please do share your comments and experiences with this placement of Ketu, and I thank you for being with me so far, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.